stop everything that you are doing, because if you run any sort of lead gen at all, this is going to be the most important video that you watch today, I guarantee it. I'm going to show you how Claude Code has literally just changed the lead gen game forever and give you 5 different use cases that you can plug in to your business today. So, if you don't know what Claude Code is, if you've been living under a rock, it is the most powerful AI tool that has ever been released, and it will change your business and change your life. Because the traditional lead gen strategy is getting lists from Apollo, cleaning and enriching in Clay, manually updating and managing things in a CRM, automating Slack notifications using Zapier, and it's like you've got 6 different tools and 6 different subscriptions and 6 places where data lives, and it's crazy and it's messy. And I have suffered from this as well. Now, the new lead gen strategy method is that you have one single terminal running Claude Code connected to your email, calendar, CRM, project manager, calls, transcripts, ClickUp, Slack, everything all in one place. And then you dictate everything using Whisperflow, which, if you don't know, is the dictation app that I use to write all of my prompts. And then all of a sudden, you feel like this. It's like you are plugged into the matrix. So let me give you like a rundown on Claude Code. Claude Code is like Claude, but it lives in your computer and it can access all of your files. So it runs locally, it reads all your files, and it writes code for you. Now, I put off using Claude Code because the name is code. And I'm like, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer. And what the heck is terminal? Right? So this is terminal. And this is how you interact with Claude Code. It is the best way to interact with Claude Code. Tell me about Claude Code and why people... Actually, I'll use Whisperflow because that's actually what I do. Tell me about Claude Code and why people should care about it who are watching this video if they do any sort of lead gen. They may be an agency, they may be a service provider, or a B2B business that needs more leads. Why should they care about Claude Code? So, and then we wait, and it uses Opus 4.5, which is the most powerful AI model in existence, and then it gives you absolute gold. Now, you all know how a chatbot works, right? So it outputs text and stuff, but the most powerful thing is that it connects all of the tools that you have in one place. So what I mean is that you can connect your Google Calendar, your Gmail, HubSpot, Slack, ClickUp, Fathom, and pull in transcripts, your Notion, and pull in SOP. I'm just like looking at all the things that I'm connecting here. You can connect Miro. You can connect Instantly. You can even connect YouTube. You can Twitter or X. And so now you have a superhuman intelligent agent that has all context and all awareness across all of your business assets at all times. And it will be able to proactively go out and find gaps and holes. And that's going to be on the next video where I talk about ClaudeBot. But let's keep it simple for now. And so it isn't a coding tool because you don't code. It builds things for you through prompts. And so I'm able to pull up terminal and I'm able to say stuff like, and as an example, without exposing any API keys because I'm recording my screen right now, I want you to come up with ways that you can connect my Slack and my ClickUp and my Instantly account to help me with my lead generation. Give me 3 of the most valuable ideas that you have. And what it will do is it'll go and it'll look at all of the context across those 3 or 4 different or 3 different programs and apps and find ways to connect them and then share data across them. It's really spectacular. I thought that this is for people who are programming things, and I put off looking at it for a long time, but I'm going to show you some of the automations that I've built. So it fires a notification to your sales channel, hot reply coming in from XYZ, creates a task with the leads details, assigns it to a closer, and so like a daily campaign scorecard. So I have automations that ping me every day. These are the deliverables. This client needs this addressed. Or I can pull in all of the tasks that my team is working on and go, okay, where are we missing things? I can even go into my email and I'll show you the 5 use cases here, right? So this is where it gets crazy. Like this is like a crazy full stack here. You can pull in data from Apify. And again, you can do all this in the terminal. You can pull in data from Apify and you can say like, enrich these leads, go and research their LinkedIn, visit their website. And so what you used to be able to do was use Clay, but Clay is $300 a month and you need to go in manually set up all these things and like click all these buttons. Now I just press dictate on my thing, on my keyboard, use Whisperflow. By the way, I'll leave an affiliate code down below. You get like free month or something of Whisperflow. I've got something like 20 years of free months because so many people have used Whisperflow, but I'll leave that link down below. But you can dictate with your voice exactly what the automation that you want built, and then Claude Code will go out and build it for you. So you can say stuff like, draw in all of this list from Apify, organize it in my Google Sheet, and go out and research everybody on LinkedIn, visit their website, and then infer whether or not they're a good fit, and then tell me based on that if they are a good fit inside the Google Sheet so I can contact them. And then it will go out and it'll enrich all of this data and then give you signals based on criteria that you feed it, again, with your voice. And then what you can do is go, based on everything that you have found, put together hyper-personalized emails that I can use to reach out to this person, offering them X, Y, Z. And then you can also go to my Notion and pull my company wiki so that you can see my offers and the type of way that the types of things that I sell clients and how I'm able to deliver those results. And then just like dump all of that into Claude Code and it'll just spin it all up for you. And as long as it's got API access to everything, it'll just do everything for you. It's insanity. And then it'll manage your CRM and organize all of the leads. So your leads will go through your CRM with all the enriched data, and emails will go into draft for your review, or it'll be pushed straight to your sending tool. So I still use Instantly to blast everything out because Instantly have a really good user interface, and they have something called an MCP, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. But let me run through the 4 other different types of flows that you can do. So I did this the other day, and if you're watching this and this is you, then like this is how I did this. I connected Claude Code to Gmail, my calendar, Calendly, and then I also connected it to my Fathom, which has all of the call recordings that I have run for the last year. And I said to Claude Code, I just, again, with my voice, I go in Whisperflow, pull in all of the, well, let me see if I can do it in real time so you can see what I'm talking about. So you pull up Claude, and then I go, I'd like you to access my Google Calendar. And then I'd like you to see anybody that I got on a discovery call with, a strategy session with, or I presented a growth plan to. And then I'd like you to see whether or not that turned into a deal. And the ones that did not turn into a deal, I'd like you to go to the Fathom recording of that prospect and pull in the transcript so you've got as much information as possible. And then I'd like you to go through my Gmail inbox and see the correspondence with that prospect. And I'd like you to understand why the deal didn't move forwards. And then I'd like you to research that person's LinkedIn. And then I'd like you to put together a hyper-personalized piece of outreach to that person to try and re-engage them and present to them a whole bunch of sexy new AI automations that we've just rolled out, and pitch them to get on a quick strategy call with me where I can show them how all of this stuff works. Okay, so didn't type a single line of code, didn't do any of that. Let's see. This is a comprehensive re-engagement campaign. Let me break down into phases and start by accessing your Google Calendar. So I'm going to pause this. I don't want to give away API keys or something. So you can see here it's pulled in all the deals, all of the strategy calls that didn't move forwards, and then it's going through and searching for all of those people through my Gmail. Again, I haven't done anything except dictate with my voice in a couple of seconds what things should be done. So you can now really operate at the speed of thought, or the speed of speech really, and it's ridiculous. So while that's working, let me go back here and show you what else you can do. So, like I said, I went back through the last sort of 6 to 12 months. Who did I meet with? Who emailed me? What did we talk about? Sometimes things are just like they fall between the cracks, or it wasn't the right time, or a client said like, yeah, speak to me in 2 months and I'd love to engage with you then. And then I got busy with other things, or I've got, clients that are ready to give me cash right now, and so I'm working with them. But this way, you can make sure that nothing falls between the cracks. And I just figured out a way to automate this whole process with an AI bot and then push everything to me in a morning debrief. And I'm using Claude bot to do that. So again, subscribe if you want to see that. That's going to be the next video coming out. And then what it'll do is it'll blast out personalized follow-ups saying stuff like, hey, we talked back in October, wanted to circle back. And I'll show you what that looks like. Let's see if it's finished. Not yet, still crunching away. Another automation that you can roll out with Claude Code in like 5 minutes is an Uno reverse automation. So this is an idea that I saw on Twitter where cold email is an unbelievable buyer signal. So if somebody's cold emailing you, it means that they're trying to grow their business, right? And so I get emails like this all the time from people who are running software and they want me to, they're just blasting out cold email and they're doing it wrong. And so you can Uno reverse them and pitch them back. So if a cold email comes in, Claude will filter it, extract, it'll research, find the founder, look up on LinkedIn where they are, get their profile, try and understand who they are better, find their email through Apollo, push it to instantly, and then auto send. And so when somebody pitches you and it's somebody that's clearly trying to sell you something, you can go and do research on them and say, hey, I see you trying to grow, love the outreach method. Why don't we get on a call? I can show you how we could maybe take that over for you or 10x it for you or something like this. One of my favorite things that I have built is the inbound lead processing automation. So let me bring it up on another screen here and then show you guys what it looks like. Essentially, what I have done is I get bombarded with leads coming in from YouTube, right? And so I have this flow here which handles the whole process for me. So people fill out the type form and then it acknowledges them and it immediately logs it on a Google Sheet. Then it creates a ClickUp task of all the leads, and then it pushes them to my active campaign list. After that, it screens them through a bunch of prompts that I have created over a long period of time of doing it all manually, based on a fit, based on the things that they have said, and based on the research that I do on them, on their LinkedIn, their website, and I scan through everything, pull it all in, dump it into Claude, and then create a comprehensive qualification criteria based on all of that. It updates the ClickUp task to either be qualified, not a fit, or needs clarification. And based on that, it sends them a personalized email that says stuff like, hey, John, I saw that you are a $300,000 a month business, B2B SaaS company. Just quickly, I noticed on the form you didn't fill out XYZ. Is that because this reason? Have you raised any funds? And what's the head count right now? And also, you forgot to mention your goals for this year. Would love to know those details. And all of this is done like that. And then it pushes everything to Slack and Google Sheets, notifies me, pings me on my phone that says, hey, John filled out this form. He's a perfect fit. Get back to him. And then if they're not a fit, they get pushed to something else and like my free community. Now, just imagine how crazy it is when you can do all of this on autopilot while you're sleeping in under 3 minutes. So they are notified in 60 seconds, and then within 3 minutes, they have an answer. So pulling in Slack, ClickUp, HubSpot, Gmail, LinkedIn, and anything else, and being able to draft personalized messages based on where they are in the process right now is unbelievable. And then pipeline management. So end of the day, Claude will audit your CRM. So it'll go through my entire ClickUp pipeline for me and all my clients and then go which deals haven't been touched, which leads are stuck, which follow-ups are overdue, and then it generates a report and sends it to the Slack channel. And then it automates all of this nightly and then pushes it to your Airtable or Google Sheets pipeline. And then project management has been a massive game changer as well, because inside the Slack, my team communicate with each other, and sometimes things get lost in the Slack. Like, it's not a perfect system. And so I have a bot that scans through every single channel, and it pulls in all of the things that everybody is doing and understands if anything is getting lost, or if there are any reminders that needed, and it pushes them directly to my phone as a report. So it analyzes the chats, audits the projects, makes sure that everything gets delegated to the right people, because it has access to everything, right? It has context on everything. And so it looks like, new client comes in, Claude processes it, then it get pushed to ClickUp, projects and tasks get auto-created, auto-assigned, auto-dates, and then team gets notified in the Slack, hey Sarah, this task has been created for you, please make sure it's done by Tuesday. So all of this is done on autopilot. If you want to see a bunch more, I'm going to give you like a full breakdown of all of the N8N templates, all of the automations that I have built. I'm actually going to give you this stuff that I have been building, including some instant reply bots and the YouTube lead scraper that I talked, the lead replier that I talked about, and some enrichment stuff. So again, make sure you're subscribed, or I'm going to drop them exclusively in the free Dopamine Digital School group. So make sure you join that. That's going to be linked below as well. It's free, right? There's no reason to not be in here. It's completely free. So let me just explain to you quickly how all of this works. I'm not going to give you the full breakdown because I'm not super technical. I had to have a bunch of YouTube videos and somebody walk me through this, but now I understand it. My mind has been expanded. I feel like I have been unplugged from the matrix, and I have now finally stood back and seen how powerful this thing is, and I was asleep for so many years. Like, let me put it like this. If you're a non-technical founder, you are more creative, you're an ideas person, like me, you have probably felt bottlenecked by, you have all these ideas and you're not able to execute on them because you aren't a technical person. So you have to communicate them to people, and people are fallible, and they are greedy, and they are lazy, and sometimes they don't do the things that you want them to do. And then you've got to pay them all this money to do them, and they take 3 weeks to do it. Now you can just open up Claude Code, say a couple words using Whisperflow, and it'll go out and build everything for you. So really you have no excuse. And that is so freaking exciting. So everything is connected through these things called MCPs, Model Context Protocols. And it's just a way for all of these tools to communicate with each other. So the way that my stupid brain thinks about it is, an MCP is like the layer on top of all the data that makes sense of the data, like buttons that you can go, like the buttons that Claude Code can go and push. That's not exactly it, but that's the way my brain thinks about it. So it's like all of the nodes are connected through these things called MCPs. So there is a technical barrier to understand how all of this works, and you will need to use terminal. But once you get over... Okay, so it's draft, like, let's jump back into the terminal and just like see how scary this is. It's not scary at all. So here are a whole bunch of emails that Claude has drafted by going and doing all the things that I suggested it do. And what I can do is I can just go, well, I can pull the Fathom recordings to get more information. And then I can send from in my terminal. It's outrageous. Okay, and then also it's cheaper. So not only is it 100 times faster and smarter, but it's also cheaper. Because I was paying $300 a month to Clay, $99 a month to Apollo. I'm paying like more than $100 to my CRM. But if you are spending $500-600, like the other day, I think I calculated there was $700 a month in sunk costs that I went and cleaned up. All of these things add up like crazy. You can get super lean with the lead gen now. You can do some of the stuff manually, and you can also use Appify, and now you've got Claude Code, and you can use an Instantly account and pull in all the MCPs from all of them, and then just basically control it all within Terminal. Everything is in one single terminal, and you speak, and it happens. And so you can also save $350 a month that way. Now, I must warn you, there are some limitations, because with great power does come great responsibility, and everybody skips these parts. There are usage caps, and when you're in a deep vibe coding session, you hit those limits very quickly. And so the other day I burnt through a bunch. I was building some automations. I burnt through a bunch of credits, and I loaded up with another $100. But the way I see it is like, well, I have access to superhuman intelligence, and I have the ability to move at the speed of thought and words. Is that worth another $100? Yes. Okay, so I happily pay it, but it is a limitation. Now, sometimes the AI hallucinates. For example, it does things without me asking sometimes, or it does things incorrectly sometimes. And so we are not at the point where you can just push a button, go away, and fall asleep, and it just does it all for you. We will be there in several months, I believe, especially with the advances like Claude Bot. But sometimes it sends emails without me saying, yes, send. It drafts the emails and then it sends them, and I'm like, I didn't want you to send it. So there are also hallucinations. And there is a technical barrier here, right? Like I mentioned. There is a very real technical barrier. So if you are a technical person, this is perfect for you. If you are scared of the terminal, this is probably not for you. MCP setups can be a little bit finicky. I think the hardest part is installing Claude Code and wrapping your mind around how this works. And then instead of the way that you are currently working, using the terminal to pull in things and push things out. And it's just a much cleaner way of doing it. But it does take some time to get used to. Sometimes things break. There's no UI, so it's not as sexy. Like, things in here don't feel as sexy. I feel like I'm a coder, like I'm a hacker, but it don't feel as sexy. And then Claude Code sometimes shuts down. Like yesterday, it shut down, and I'm like, now what? And so if you don't have sending infrastructure, it's not a good idea. You end up being support, so there's no help desk, so you got to debug, but then you have Claude Code to help you debug, and then you can do all of these things like feed it loops so it debugs itself. But anyway, so there is some limitations around that. So if you are a non-techie, skip Claude Code, stick to Claude in general or Claude Cowork. But if you are ready to explode your business and plug into the matrix and see the universe from a completely different way and be literally 100 times more productive, and you are comfortable in terminal, you understand what an API is, and you aren't the type of person to throw your hands up in the air and go, oh God, it's so technical, I couldn't possibly do this. I could never wrap my mind around that. Like, go enjoy my grandmother in an old folks home and play petanque or whatever that they do, and play chess, and let us come in and completely wipe the floor with you, because this is the way that the world is going. So you have kind of two choices. If you are part of the former and you just want me and my team to go in and deploy all of these done-for-you automations and engines, then go here, click this button. I will audit your entire business. And this whole process of filling out this form will go through my AI automation. So if you want to see what it looks like for the automation to run, go and fill out the form, and this will be the steps that it goes through. So if you want to check that out, click the first link in the description. All the freebies and the goodies are going to be delivered into the Dopamine Digital free school group, so that'll be linked below as well. But I am super excited to bring you the next couple videos. They're all going to be deeply about Claude Code, because it has completely revolutionized my business, and I feel like I can't sleep for more than 2 hours because I'm missing out. So if you're excited about that, make sure you check out the next video on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.